Hello, 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 and welcome to a special edition of Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Welcome to this Thankful Thursday edition of the broadcast. So glad to be here with you all this evening. So, yesterday, we didn't have our regular Wonderful Wednesday, unfortunately, because Miss Hope's tummy wasn't feeling quite wonderful. Okay. Had some tummy troubles, had to get rid of that. Didn't feel good at all, but I feel a whole lot better today. Not 100%, but a whole lot better. So I'm glad to be here with you all today on the Thankful Thursday broadcast of Miss Hope's Reading Hour. And the next 2 days are kind of special because as I put on Miss Hope's Reading Hour, there's going to be a double header, meaning 2 days of Miss Hope's Reading Hour back to back. So we're going to have our Thankful Thursday broadcast today, and tomorrow our Fabulous Friday broadcast. Okay, so hopefully you all had a great and wonderful Wednesday. My wonderful Wednesday was going to the doctor because my stomach didn't feel too great and eating a lot of soup and crackers. But I'm still kind of on soup and crackers, but I feel a lot better. Hopefully with all of this snow and the cold where it seems like the whole country kind of is cold, right? So hopefully you all are staying warm and safe. And, our thoughts and prayers are with people down in the South, especially in Texas, who are dealing with a whole lot with the weather. But we're hoping that you all are safe and warm and that everyone is able to enjoy Miss Hope's Reading Hour who can be here, okay? Hello, Miss Brandy. I'm so glad to see you. Hopefully you and the boys will enjoy our books today. Well, today is our Thankful Thursday broadcast since we are broadcasting on Thursday. What am I thankful for today? I'm thankful that I don't feel nauseous, like really bad. I'm thankful that we had a half day today because it snowed here in Philadelphia. So we all had a half day of school. What else am I thankful for? I'm thankful for my family and my friends and all of you who are here. So I am thankful for all of you. Well, today, if you saw the teaser, we are talking about love today. Because remember, sorry I didn't say it, but happy Black History Month. I told you all I was going to be saying it all month long, right? Happy Black History Month, okay? It's right down there in the ticker too. See it coming down? Happy Black History Month. Also, this is Love Month because we're only 4 days from when it was Valentine's Day. And, a lot of people don't get to celebrate Valentine's Day right on the day because of work and other things. But let's not just think of one kind of love. We have love for a lot of things. We have to learn to love ourselves. We love our family and friends. We have to love our fellow human brothers and sisters all around the world. We can love what we do and love our hobbies. And one part, especially during Black History Month, is to learn to love the things about us as Black people, right? So learn to love our skin and the color of our skin. Learn to love the broadness sometimes of our noses and the thickness of our lips. And something that's really important, learning to love our hair. Yes. So I love my hair. Sometimes when I fluff it out or when my fro is really big, I will look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I love my hair so much. And when I was younger and I wanted it straight all the time, I didn't always love it so much. Because my girls, my young ones, you get your hair straightened. Sometimes you get a relaxer, all the other stuff. We know, right? So sometimes we have to learn, not sometimes, all the time. We have to learn to love all the different types of hair that we have. Okay. And even if you are not African American, sometimes when you have really tight curly hair, it's hard to love it because you want your hair to be like someone else's. But all in all, even though we're talking about loving our hair is learning to love a part of us. So we have to learn how to love ourselves in the way that we look and the differences that we see in each other all the time, physical and our personalities, right? So today our first two books are about learning to love and talking about loving our hair, all the different ways that it can be done and that it grows and that it looks, okay? And we're not leaving the brothers out, okay? We're not leaving the brothers out. Because just like the ladies have to learn how to love their hair, our young ladies and young gentlemen, you have to learn how to love your hair too. So that is what we are talking about today. Let's look at the books we are going to read. So, before we get into that, let us get our disclaimer out of the way. The wonderful music that you will hear today and the books that we will read, unfortunately, Miss Hope and Miss Hope's Reading Hour do not own the rights to any of it. But it is here for your listening and reading enjoyment, okay? Now, let's get to the books. So, our first book is called Hair Love. I saw this book a while ago and I was like, even before I even thought of doing this Hope's Reading Hour. And I was like, I want to get that book so that when I'm at school, I can read this to my students. I want to get this book. It's called Hair Love. So it is by Academy Award-winning creator Matthew A. Cherry, illustrated by Vashti Harrison. Hair Love. And I got to find out who the publisher is. I'll let you know that when we get ready to read it. And also, this is another book that I've had for a while, but I just couldn't find another book to read it with until I got Hair Love. So this book I'm about to show you, I got this one first. And then when it was Black History Month, I was like, I got to get Hair Love. So this book is called Crown, an ode to the fresh cut, right? Crown. And look at this. Look at all of these medals that this book has gotten. Remember, young ones, I told you, you don't have to wait until you are an older young one to get any of these medals for writing an awesome book, right? So this book is written by Derek Barnes, illustrated by Gordon C. James. Crown, an ode to the fresh cut. And of course, we're getting down to the wire of who stole New Year's Eve. Now, we're so close, and there's still questions, and I need answers because I need to know who did it and why and how. Because remember, we got to find out. Anywho, so let us get to our first book, Hair Love. And Matthew Cherry. And it looks the same underneath the dust jacket. All right, let's see. This is a Kokila book, an imprint of Penguin, Random House Books. Hair Love. My name is Zori, and I have hair that has a mind of its own. It kinks, coils, and curls every which way. I can relate, Zori. This is a lot of hair up here, okay? Daddy tells me it is beautiful. That makes me proud. I love that my hair lets me be me. In funky braids with beads, I am a princess. And when my hair is in two puffs, I am above the clouds like a superhero. I've worn my hair in puffs. I like it. My hair even does magic tricks. One day, Rocky and I were playing outside when along came the rain. From large to small it went. Presto, just like that. There is nothing my hair can't do. The shrinkage is real, ladies and gentlemen who have a lot of this hair on top of their heads. Today, I woke up extra early, all by myself. I was too excited to sleep. It's a big day. I wonder what's happening. Let's see. Oh, the cat's thinking about cat food. Daddy was still sleeping. Shh, I said to Rocky as we tiptoed past him. Lately, Daddy has been worn out. He makes me breakfast, takes me to school, goes to work, picks me up, and yesterday we went for a bike ride around the park. I think he needs a break. Because today is special. I want a perfect hairstyle. This calls for a professional's touch. Paws off, Rocky. Daddy heard the crash. What on earth? Zori, what on earth? He asked. A professional's touch. You see what she's got? Those YouTube videos, honey. Don't worry, Zori. I do the same thing. I was only trying to help, I said. Daddy smiled. Can I help too? It'll be a piece of cake, Zuzu. The first style was a big no way. Whew. Look at that hairstyle. Yeah, I don't know about that one. You tried. The second one was no better. No, Daddy. Then Daddy tried slicking my hair back into two puffs. Ouch! Daddy yelled. Yeah, sometimes getting snapped by those rubber bands is kind of hard. Had that happen to me too. Wait a minute, Daddy said as he reached into the drawer and pulled out a pick. Ta-da! Daddy, really? I said. I'll be right back, he promised. Well, that's not bad. She's got an amazing fro. Amazing. Now, how's that? He asked, pulling a hat down over my eyes. Daddy, come on. We can do better than that. I really need my hair to be special. Don't worry, he said. We'll figure it out. And sometimes a hat solves everything, except for when you need your hair to be special. Then I had a great idea. I wonder what her idea was. Let's see. Daddy gathered all the tools we needed, and we were set. Look at the sink. Look what she's got. You might as well watch the video step by step, friends. Watching carefully, Daddy combed, parted, oiled, and twisted. He nailed it. I am impressed, Dad. Funky puff buns. Pretty, and so much fun. Rocky approved too. I put on my superhero cape as the final touch to perfect the look. Cute. Where's my Zuzu? Mommy called from the door. She could not get in the house fast enough. Mommy! You've got to be the prettiest Supergirl I've ever seen, she said. And your hair is beautiful, Zori. Who did it? I looked at Daddy and beamed. Mommy smiled. Very nice. Thank you. We learned from the best, Daddy said as he gave her a big hug. They were welcoming Mommy home. My hair is Mommy, Daddy, and me. It's hair love. The end. Let me look at the back of this. Let me look. I wanted to see something just a second. So I remember seeing a video about this book, and it made it seem as if like the mom had been sick and possibly had cancer, where usually when you get chemotherapy, it makes your hair fall out. But Zori's mother had made videos of doing hair before. And so she used that Daddy used that video to do her beautiful hair. And that is the reason why it was such a special day, because she wanted to make sure her hair was done for her mom's welcome home. Such a great story. And such a good story about how dads can learn how to do their daughter's hair. I know many, many people who the daddies know how to do the daughter's hair and the mommies know how to cut their son's hair. So don't just think only one person can do it. Everybody can do it. And it's very empowering to teach your children how to take care, especially African American children, how to take care of their own hair. It's like a rite of passage to learn how to do. The one thing I was always jealous about is that it was so easy for my sister to learn how to braid hair, and I still have not yet learned how to braid hair. Gotta let some of my friends teach me how to do that. Doing like a cornrow, I can't do it. I get frustrated. I gotta learn. Always something new to learn. Anywho, let's get to our next book, Crown, Ode to the Fresh Cut by Derek Barnes. And this is a Deneen Milner book. Okay, let's get in there. So we gotta be able to see these pictures, right? When it's your turn in the chair, you stand at attention and forget about who you were when you walked through that door. He looks proud. You came in as a lump of clay, a blank canvas, a slab of marble. But when my man is done with you, they'll want to post you up in a museum. That's my word. He'll drape you like royalty with that cape to keep the fine hairs off of your neck and your princely robes. It's amazing what a tight fade, low, high, low, bald does for your confidence. Dark Caesar. About to get into that chair and get that haircut. Oh. Who knows? You might just smash that geography exam tomorrow and rearrange the entire principal's honor roll. A fresh cut does something to your brain, right? It hooks you up intellectually. You're a star, a brilliant, blazing star. Not the kind that you'll find on the sidewalk in Hollywood. Nope. They're going to have to wear shades when they look up to catch your shine. He'll lean you back in the chair, dab that cool shaving cream on your forehead, and then craft a flawless line with that razor. Slow, steady, surgical. It frames your swagger. The cute girl in the class across the way won't be able to keep her pretty eyes off of you. Her friends will giggle and whisper, "Girl, he's so fine." Yeah, that's what they'll say. The whole school will be seasick from the rows and rows of ripples. You'll have more waves on your head than the Atlantic Ocean. Shout out to my do-rag and my patience. All the boys want waves. There's a dude to the left of you with a faux hawk, deep part, skin fade. He looks presidential. Maybe he's a CEO of a tech company that manufactures cool. He's a boss. That's how important he looks. Nice faux hawk, sir. Dude to the right of you looks majestic. There are thousands of black angels waiting to guide and protect him as soon as he steps a foot out that door. That's how important he looks. There's a dude standing in the mirror that can't get over the masterful designs crafted on the side of his dome. Everywhere he goes, people will ask for his autograph. He looks that fresh. He looks like he owns a few acres of land on Saturn. Maybe there's a river named after him on Mars. He looks that important. There are two dudes, one with locks, the other with cornrows, and a lady with a butterscotch complexion. And all they want is a shape up, tapered sides, a trim, and a crisp but subtle line. And sometimes in life, that's all you ever need, a crisp but subtle line. When your barber is done, you feel like $1,000,000 and some change. When his fingertips hit you with that green, apple green alcohol or that witch hazel, it'll sting, but not like a scorpion or a hornet, more like an electric stamp of approval. And when you see the cut yourself in that handheld mirror, you'll smile a really big smile. That's the you that you love the most. That's the you that wins everything. That's the gold medal you. That is one of the best things, looking in the mirror after your hair is done. Every person in the shop will rise to their feet and give you a round of applause for being so fly. Not really, but they'll look like they want to. You'll see it in their eyes. Well, you want to applaud for me? Come on, clap your hands. It's the look your English teacher gives you when she hands you your last test with a bright red 97 slapped on it. It's how your mother looks at you before she calls you beautiful. Flowers are beautiful. Sunrises are beautiful. Being viewed in your mother's eyes as someone that matters, now that's beautiful. And you'll take it. You don't mind at all. Finally, he'll remove your cape, then swipe you down with a brush made from a golden horse tail. You gotta get all those hairs off. You'll put the money in his hand without even expecting change back. Tip that man, tip that man. It was worth it. It always is. But you know why? Because you'll leave out of the shop every single time feeling the exact same way. Magnificent, flawless, like royalty. Hello, world. He does look fresh. The end. So, a note from the author. I've been liking these notes from the authors in the books we've been reading lately. Mr. Tony was my barber in the 6th grade. To get to his chair, I rode the Prospect southbound Metro bus to 63rd Street every Thursday. The day of the week, my mother would leave $8 on the kitchen table so that I could get my hair cut. Walking out of that shop, I never felt like the same kid that went in. I couldn't wait for Friday morning so that Carmela Swift, my girlfriend, could see how perfect my box was shaped up. I knew she'd bug out about the 2 parts on the right side of my head, which in my mind made me look like Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane was a rapper back in the day. There was no way she'd resist my ruler straight hairline, a precise frame for my smiling brown 11-year-old face. That fresh cut made me more handsome. It made you smarter, more visible, and more aware of every great thing that could happen in your world. With this offering, I wanted to capture that moment when Black and brown boys all over America visit the shop and hop out of the chair filled with a higher self-esteem, with self-pride, with confidence, and an overall elevated view of who they are. The fresh cut, the fresh cuts. That's where it all begins. It's how we develop swagger. And when we begin to care about how we present ourselves to the world. It's also the time when most of us become privy to the conversations and company of hardworking Black men from all walks of life. We learn to mimic their tone, inflection, sense of humor, and verbal combative skills when discussing politics, women, sports, our community, and our future. And really, other than church, the experience of getting a haircut is pretty much the only place in the Black community where a Black boy is tended to, treated like royalty. Crown, an ode to the fresh cut, focuses on the humanity, the beautiful, raw, smart, perceptive, assured humanity of Black boys, sons, brothers, nephews, and grandsons, and how they see themselves when they highly approve of their reflections in the mirror. Deep down inside, they wish that everyone could see what they see, a real life, breathing, compassionate, thoughtful, brilliant, limitless soul that matters, that desperately matters. We've always mattered. Derek Barnes. Oh, I love this book. This was such a good book. Crown, an ode to the fresh cut. Listen, the boys always are like, I am a new person once I've gotten that fresh cut. Just like we are when we get our new braids or we get our hair straightened or we get, our hair fluffed out or colored and things. They feel royal. And that's how I feel, especially when I have my fro out or my hair up like this. I feel very royal and regal. Love that book, Crown, an Ode to the Fresh Cut. This, my parent friends, this right here is a good gift for your sons. Very good gift for your sons. Now, my friends, you know where we got to get to, right? You know where we got to go. We have to get to who stole New Year's Eve. Friends, we are very close. We are chapter 26. There are 32, okay, chapters. So we are very close. All right. So in chapter 25, we realize that we find out that the traffic jam wasn't because there was an accident. There were so many people there to participate in the pet costume contest and carnival that's taken the place of the ice carnival in College Springs. There's no ice carnival because all of the ice sculptures have been stolen, remember. And the first one that was stolen was Ice Eve Henry's ice sculpture that was made by her uncle for her birthday. And then we still haven't gotten to like the planning of her New Year's Eve birthday party, because her birthday is on New Year's Day. So her mother was going to have a birthday party for her for New Year's Eve. But, and I just put that out there at the end of Monday's broadcast, okay? Her mother, her behavior was a little suspect. I would hate for her to have had something to do with it going missing. Anywho, we're still trying to figure out who stole Ice Eve. The last time we thought there was a clue to find her, it was only because someone had stole one of the ladies dancing from the 12 days displays in front of the houses. So it wasn't Ice Eve they were finding at all. Then in the last chapter that we read, Eve's mother suggested that possibly someone may have hid the ice sculptures in, what do they call it? The RSFZ area that was built for Professor Henry, her husband, to store all of the volatile materials that would help him to finish creating gasoline. Because that's the only place in town possibly that's big enough to fit 19 ice sculptures of different sizes, okay? So let us get to the book. Chapter 26, Who Stole New Year's Eve? I don't know if you've ever been part of a precision light up Frisbee team marching in a costume pet parade in Pennsylvania in late December. But in case you haven't, oh, my ear, sorry. I'll tell you what it's like. First, it's cold, so you have to get over that. Then, till your teammates get their rhythm going, you're afraid you're going to get decapitated by one of the zillion Frisbees flying at your head. Finally, if the Frisbee dog marching with you is little, you have to watch your step because otherwise you'll either trip or squish him. Besides all that, though, what it's like is super fun. Mr. Glassy had recruited the College Springs Community Band to lead the parade. The song they played is called Baby Elephant Walk. Later, I found out that was because it was the only song they knew with an animal in the title. Meanwhile, I was just grateful they didn't play the 12 Days of Christmas. The Chickadee Court Precision Light Up Frisbee team had been assigned to march right behind the band. I would be in line with Margie Lee and Toby on one side and Ari on the other. But we'd all be pretty far apart so that when we tossed our frisbees, they'd have a chance to get airborne. Since the traffic jam had delayed everyone, there was a lot of standing around before the parade started. Sophie and I were hanging together. Eve was sitting on the curb with Marshmallow in her lap. She was worried about something. I could tell from how her face was scrunched up. Come to think of it, Eve hadn't said a word since she asked her mom about the storage facility, RSFZ. I was wondering what was up with that when something Billy Jensen said got my attention. He was a few feet from my left with Jeremiah, and he was complaining about how his splinters hurt. Splinters? The second Billy said it, Jeremiah looked up, saw me, and tried to shush him. Sophie had heard the two of them too, and she pounced. You mean splinters like the ones I've got? And Eve and Alex have got too? She asked. Nope, said Jeremiah. Billy and I's splinters are totally different. Oh, so it's you and Billy, I said. And where did you get them? Billy and Jeremiah looked at each other. Then Jeremiah answered very carefully. We were doing a favor for, somebody. Who? Sophie asked. This time Billy answered, for somebody who asked us to do a favor for her, a certain person. A girl person, I guess? Sophie looked at me. And did she have a name? That's a silly question, Jeremiah said. Almost everybody's got a name. I was getting exasperated, but lucky for Jeremiah and Billy, that was when the leader of the community band blew his whistle. At last, the parade was going to start. Eve jumped off the curb and let Marshmallow off his leash. Sophie hurried to position herself where all of us could see her. Then, after the drum roll from the band, the first notes of Baby Elephant Walk sounded. Sophie stepped left, stepped right, marching to the beat. And as she did, she raised her fist and counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, toss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, toss. And just like that, we were a precision light up frisbee team for real. Light up frisbees light up only when they're spinning and go dark when they stop. For us, this meant that every 8 steps, flying streaks of light whizzed among us. Then it got dark. Then it lit up again. Adding to the excitement was Marshmallow zigzagging around as fast as his short little legs would carry him. Most of the time, he scooped lost frisbees off the ground, but now and then he snagged a frisbee on the fly. And when he did that, the crowd went wild. I guess the whole thing looked pretty cool. There were oohs and ahs from the sidewalk everywhere we passed. By the time we reached the judging stand on College Street, the kids who took dance had added spins, while the ones who took martial arts had added kicks and punches. Even Toby Lee, who is just little, was getting the hang of throwing the frisbee. His mom, Margie, looked up as if she was thanking heaven. At last, she said, the kid turns out to be good at something besides making a mess. The parade route went south on Main Street, circled the campus, and ended near the North football parking lots, the really big ones on the edge of campus. By the time we got there, we were almost sick of Baby Elephant Walk, as we were of the 12-day song. Chapter 27. The band members put their instruments down, and Toby Lee looked up at his mom. "All over?" he said sadly. "All over," his mom nodded. "But wasn't that fun? And now there are awards. Come on, let's see if we won." The Ice Carnival people had set up a platform at the far end of the parking lot. Mr. Glassy stood on it and one by one thanked almost every person in the entire town for making the first annual Ice Carnival Costume Pet Parade possible. Boring. Plus, it took forever. And during it, a lot of people left, including Mrs. Henry and Sophie's mom, who took Byron with her. I told them no problemo, my parents could give Sophie and Eve a ride home, even though I hadn't actually seen either of my parents yet. Then it was time for the awards, and guess who gave them out? Mrs. Miggins. A basset hound wearing a firefighter's hat and a red plastic garbage bag, it was supposed to look like a coat, won the ribbon for best costume. The runner-up was a beagle ballerina that had a crown and some foofy pink fabric like a tutu around its belly. The pets' costumes in California were better, Eve whispered. I heard that, Sophie said. Give them a break, Eve, I said. They only had a day. We were part of the teen division, which was won by 6 guys who live over in the Fairmount neighborhood. They had parrots on their shoulders and were pushing lawnmowers decorated with Christmas lights. I was a little disappointed until Mr. Glassy announced the last award of the evening, the People's Choice Award, to the Chickadee Court Precision Light Up Frisbee team. Then he explained that the idea for the parade had come from Sophie, Eve, and me, and the cheers erupted all around. We collected our red ribbons from Mrs. Miggins. Toby Lee grinned like crazy, and after that, it was time to go home. But where were Mom and Dad? Had Luau's vet appointment taken such a really long time? Suddenly, I felt guilty because in all the excitement, I had forgotten about my sick cat. Sophie, can you check your phone? I said. My dad didn't call you, did he? Sophie checked and shook her head. No calls. Then she tried to call my dad, but he didn't pick up. Meanwhile, the stadium parking lot began to empty out. I say we wait 10 minutes, then call my mom, I said. The 3 of us went over to the speaker's platform and sat down on the edge. Eve hadn't heard Jeremiah talking to Billy before the parade, so Sophie and I caught her up. Meanwhile, Marshmallow was dozing in Eve's lap. He was one tired little frisbee dog. So Billy and Jeremiah must have moved the lady dancing over to the unfinished house. That's how they got the splinters, Eve said. Duh, said Sophie. But why would they do that? Why do you think? Yasmin put them up to it, Eve said. She doesn't like me. That was true. But I didn't see what it had to do with hiding a lady dancing unless... You guys, I said, right before Eve got the call telling us to go to the unfinished house. I was at Yasmin's house, right? And she was acting snotty. And I said we were going to solve the case any minute. Okay, I guess I was acting a little snotty too. So what if she heard that and decided to do something to keep it from happening? Sophie nodded. Like sending us on a wild goose chase, you mean? Eve, could it have been Yasmin on the phone? Eve shrugged. Maybe. I've only talked to her that time at the Jensen's disaster party. If it was her, though, it was a rotten thing to do. Eve was right. But Yasmin had been my friend for so long, I had to defend her. Except for the splinters, no harm was really done. It's kind of funny if she did it because she thought you were close to solving the case, Sophie said. Because actually, we're not. Eve looked up. She had that scrunched face look again. You're wrong. We're very close to solving it. Then she clipped Marshmallow's leash to his collar, set him on the ground, stood up, and said, Come on. Chapter 28. Eve walked so fast that Sophie and I had to jog and Marshmallow practically had to gallop. What was going on? If we were about to solve the case, I should be happy, but instead, I was more like freaked out because Eve seemed so upset. Sophie said, What is the matter with you anyway, Eve? Where are we going? Way to show sympathy, Soph, I said. Eve ignored all this. But when I said, You've got to stop for a second, Marshmallow's exhausted, she did stop, just long enough for me to bend down, undo his leash, and pick him up. Then she strode off again. We had left the stadium behind, and now, across the lawn ahead of us, I saw 3 buildings. The closest one was a big metal warehouse. Maybe it was the moonlit silver clouds in the background, but it made me think of a spaceship in a science fiction movie. Then, as we got nearer, I heard a mechanical hum, sort of like our new refrigerator, the big one Dad had got when he started the pie business. Wait a minute, a refrigerator. This was the RSFZ, the refrigerated facility where Al was making all the deliveries. In the car, Eve's mom had said it would be a perfect place to store the ice sculptures. Oh my gosh. Did Eve really think the ice sculptures were there? Had she been thinking all along that it was her dad who had them? That made no sense. We were closing in on the storage building when Marshmallow raised his head, sniffed the air, and yipped, I don't like this, I don't like this. Something just smells wrong. Then he jiggled so hard I couldn't hold him and jumped to the ground. I figured his plan was to run away, but instead he ran toward the building and started sniffing the weeds around it. To our right was a red door with a sign, Danger, Keep Out. Eve, being a sensible person, stopped when she got to the red door. What do we do? Sophie, on the other hand, didn't stop at all. She put her hand on the doorknob, tried to turn it, and succeeded. What was it doing unlocked anyway? Sophie, I grabbed her shoulder. If the statues are in there, there might be bad guys. They might have weapons. Oh, hogwash, said Sophie. Who cares enough about ice to guard it with a weapon? Maybe the same people who cared enough to steal ice in the first place? This slowed her down, but only for a second. How do we even know ice is what's in there? Eve said, I think it's ice. I think all along it was my dad who stole the sculptures. Remember the pickup truck and the sunflower seeds? It's been so crazy for him lately. He probably started chewing them again. Not to mention he's got a zillion graduate students who would help him do whatever he told them to do, like steal every ice sculpture in town. Besides that, he was gone all night, remember? He told Mom and me he was in his lab, but maybe, I took a breath, let it out, and nodded. Means an opportunity. But what about motive? Eve looked really sad. I have no idea. Come on, you guys. Sophie pushed the door open. Maybe the clue we need is in here. I don't need to tell you, it was pitch black in the warehouse. It's always pitch black in a warehouse. Waiting for my eyes to adjust, I thought of every good old-fashioned mystery novel I'd ever read, where the eager detectives go in blind and ends up thumped on the head. Then, at the start of the next chapter, he or she wakes up gagged, confused, and suffering from a bad, bad headache. Oh, my friends, we will end there. Oh, I think possibly. So we will be on chapter 29. I'm going to try my best. So it's 29, 30. Oh, 30 is really short. 31 and then 32. We are going to finish this on Friday. We're going to finish it. So I thought it was Sophie's mom. Eve's mother. Now Eve thinks it's her dad. This brings me back to an earlier idea that I came up with, that maybe, just maybe, these ice sculptures are not made completely out of water. Maybe what's in the ice sculptures is something that would be valuable to the making of gasoline. So that is my idea. Eve has no idea why her dad would take them. I don't really know why her mother would take them. We're all still trying to figure out who stole Ice Eve, because whoever did that stole the other 18. Well, my friends, we have read some wonderful stories about loving yourself and your hair for my young ladies and gentlemen and my older young ladies and gentlemen. They were great books. Crown, Ode to the Fresh Cut and Hair Love. And of course, we will be at the very end and finishing Who Stole New Year's Eve on Fabulous Friday. Until then, my friends, have a great rest of your Thankful Thursday. Hopefully you can find something else to be thankful for before the end of this day. And have a great beginning of your Fabulous Friday. And I will see you right back here at 6 o'clock on the dot. A little later for you all on Instagram. Right back here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Until then, my friends, see you next time. And